Oh, feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Yeah.
You going to give us the count for the recording piece, or are you just going to cut it?
No, I'll count it in now.
Okay. Welcome to the show, folks. This is the Texas Real Estate Investment Center edition. I got Daryl Dyke here of Noble Mortgage. Welcome to the building.
Thank you, my friend.
Welcome to the building. All moved in. Well, you're moving spaces, right? Got to move upstairs.
We moved in. I got my decorator over here. She did everything perfect, and now we're moving.
And now we're moving. Yeah, it is. It's eerily similar to like the spouse stuff, right? It's like, I like this and I like, and you finally just get to the point you're like, just pick the office.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter.
Yes,
like,
I brought my work wife with me and tried to debate with her, and I finally said, you pick wherever you want to go and we'll move.
Wherever you want to go, babe. Like,
Yeah.
it's totally cool. Like, whether it's this side of the hallway or this, or this kind of chair, like whatever you think looks
Yes,
good.
there's
right?
no win in that battle.
There is no. It's just,
It's like going furniture shopping.
Yeah, another one. It's like, nah. I've done that a couple of times this year. I'm like, I don't think I'm doing that again.
Yeah, no, you've got to let them win that battle.
Yeah. So you've got a beautiful office space, literally right down the street here, if you will, with the guys. You're on what floor are you on over there in that building? You're on the first floor?
I'm on the fourth floor.
You're on the fourth floor. So Total Wealth Academy's over there. A bunch of other real estate guys are over there. And then you decided to get a space here. And I really want to kind of talk about what the community, what we're building here is, because some people who've not been here. In fact, Chen, one of our investors and a buddy of mine I went to college with, showed up, and he's like, pictures and video do not do this place justice. Like, this is going to be absolutely incredible. So maybe you can talk a little bit about why you're here and why you decided to put a satellite office here in this building.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having us in the building.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
I mean, it's a great idea. When you guys approached me, I don't know if it was you or Brian, but I thought, man, that's a great idea, just to create a lot of synergy, with people in the industry, because investment real estate is a very small niche.
Yeah.
And so, we all kind of, go to the same bars, same restaurants, same events, and so forth. So the idea of bringing in singular offices here where you're going to have events, I can have events here. We've already used your education space, I think twice now, which is really nice to have a place to go, because we do our basics and breakfast and so forth. But really just the synergies that you've created, all the different people here, I think there'll be a lot of business that will be had. A lot of my competitors are here too, but I'm friendly with all my competitors. So just wanted to be a part of it and be a part of the event, so we can have a space where, during the event or after the event, we can go to our office and have another drink or sit with a client that we just met and talk to them without having to set up an appointment at a later date.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, the idea was, let's get everybody kind of in the same room. What's amazing is we really haven't been, quote, officially open yet, and we've already got 2 or 3 tenants that are doubling the size of their space. One guy's like quadrupling it down at the end of the hallway.
Nice.
So we're already starting to see that kind of happen. And then, like you said, I mean, the classroom spaces. That's nice.
The education room upstairs is really nice to have. Like I said, we already did 2 events here, and it's perfect for just like a little, like we were doing webinars, but like our basics and breakfast that we do, we always did it at a breakfast place. Now we can just hold them here, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, and you also don't have the cost of, hosting it at some restaurant. Can we get it? What's the story? All that kind of stuff.
Yes. Logistically, that became a struggle at some point.
Yeah.
And it probably is even worse now with COVID and everything and spacing and so forth. So yeah, we're really happy to have that.
So, well, good deal. So what are y'all's plans for over? You're going to have somebody over here once a week. How does it? You guys kind of talked about that strategy of how you guys are going to use the space here.
We've talked about having like a floater, like a loan officer spends a week here and then a week at our office. Probably more so for the events. We'll have people here. Eventually, when we hire someone else, we're looking to hire some more people, and we'll be tapped out at our office space pretty soon. We may let them use this office and just kind of move people in and out, but mainly for the events, I think.
Our goal is, we've got our community meeting next week, and wrote that email. I'm sure you guys have got it, but it came out late last night. But the idea with the events is we will have an event here every day. Like every single day there will be an event here. And just the Mr. Texas Real Estate team, I looked today, we've got 9 webinars a month and 8 in-person events a month. So we're already going to have 8 here, and that's before we talk about doing a bigger meeting here. So it's everybody's going to be here. That's the way I like to say it. I'm like, everybody's going to be here.
I hope you made a bedroom for yourself in this building.
Yeah,
if you're
well,
doing that many events.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's split between me and Rob and Catherine and Brian. So thankfully, it's like we don't have to be here for for everything.
Yeah.
I was actually at an event. I was at Steve's event, and somebody said, "Hey, are you? Don't you guys have an event tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, Rob's doing that one." So we've got enough people. Then we're going to start hiring some event staff that they're going to run some of these things.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our EXP stuff. We've got EXP team members that do the event, and we'll have the same thing with some of our lending events. So,
Okay, good.
So it's, yeah, like you said, these events can wear you out. I can already feel it. Like I've gone to a couple events, and I'm like, oh, I'm not in event shape yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, whew.
I know, like turning on those engines again. I think I've spoken just in the last 2 weeks. I think I've spoken probably 6, 7, 8 times between guest spots, webinars, Zoom calls, not Zoom calls, but webinars and in-person events. We did one in Dallas, we did one in Houston, and so we've done a lot lately. It's like all gearing back up. But you're right,
Yeah.
like you got to get back in that shape.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Oh, I love it too.
I feed off of it.
I absolutely love it. We did a 3-day event, and I spoke for like a day and a half of it, and I got home, and I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I used to do this every month. I would speak for 2 to 2.5 days straight.
Yeah, those I don't do those. You have a lot more stamina when it comes to that.
It's
I'm
a
like an
marathon.
hour at a time. Mine are an hour and then maybe another 30, 45 minutes of
Yeah.
networking afterwards, where I'm speaking the entire time for an hour though. But man, I remember you used to do those all day deals. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I would be exhausted.
But I realized you get used to it. Well, what was crazy is we take all the VIPs out the night before, so you get home at like.
Oh, I know.
2,
I went to one of those
2:30.
dinners.
Yeah, okay, yeah, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm on stage at 8.
Yes.
So by Sunday afternoon, I'm like, I'm not taking any more questions. Like, if you haven't gotten your question answered, just send us an email or something. I'm beat.
Yeah, you need like a dark room just to sit in and recover from. When I first started doing a lot of speaking, I was like that. I'd get home and I'd be like physically tired.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need just a dark room and a scotch.
Yeah, there you go. Just sit there. Just don't talk to me.
But now it doesn't faze me anymore. I feed off of it. Like
Yeah,
it gives me more energy.
Yeah, it's great. And being in a place like this, it'll be a lot of fun when we start doing a lot more. And I anticipate you guys to work with other vendors and service providers in the building. It's like, hey, do you guys want to team up to do an event? You go up there, it's an hour, everybody talks for 20 minutes, and then you have networking afterwards.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of good players in here that have already moved in. I'm sure you're going to get some more. You guys are almost full at this point.
It's wild. We are almost full. I think Rob told me we have less than 10 offices left in a 30,000 square foot building. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Especially in this day and age when nobody's even going to work. Everybody's
Right.
working from home for the most part.
Yeah, it's and I'll never forget. I saved all the emails from everybody when I sent an email out to our list and said we've got an office building under contract and we're going to build this Texas Real Estate Investment Center. I probably have 20 emails from our email list that said, "You're crazy. That's not going to work. I wouldn't be buying office right now. Nobody's ever going to go back to the office again." I'm like, have you ever run a company before it's 100% remote? Those really don't last long, right?
Yeah.
What was let's be honest, what was everybody's production at when they were all, quote, working from home, right?
Yeah.
Let's go look at the bandwidth Netflix was using, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, I'm working from home today. I'm like, oh, you're checking emails and playing on Netflix, right?
Well, I think some people have done it better than others.
Well, that's true.
Some companies have actually done really well with it, but some, I imagine, like when we went, when they shut everything down, I let my loan officers work from home for the first couple of months, and they were awful. And I'm considered essential, and so we didn't even have to do that. We just thought, we'll let half the staff, which was the loan officers, go home, keep the support people. Oh man! After 2 months of that, I'm like, get your butts back to work.
You need to get back here.
I'm not doing this anymore.
We're not doing
But
that.
some people just can't work from home. I'm one of them. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I would die just being at home working every day. I got to be around people.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I used to have a home office in all my houses. I'm rehabbing a house right now in Spring Branch. I'm not going to have a home office because I'm 15 minutes from here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm just, have a little spot where you can do some emails, that sort of thing, but I'm not going to do the whole home office thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't either.
I
And
feel like I'm always at work if I work from home.
that's true.
I need that separation.
Well, that's what Jim Rohn says. Like, be present in the moment. If you're at work, work. If you're at home, do your home stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you're with your kids, do your kids stuff. If you're on date night, do date night, right? Don't
Yep.
sit there and screw around the phone, all that other stuff. So
Yep.
it's super important. But we're excited to have you in the building.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
This is going to be an absolute ton of fun. We're pretty pumped up. You guys that are watching us right now, you'll start to see all of the tenants in our building. We get back from this break, we're going to talk about what Noble Mortgage does and any of your questions you guys have. It's Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Somebody sent me a text. Let's see here. All right, you ready, A-Rock? Welcome back, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. I'm here with Daryl Dyke.
Good to see you, JB.
Good to see you. So, Noble Mortgage, you're a lender here in town. You got a spot here in the building. Of course, you're more than just Houston. You can do just about anywhere in Texas, right?
Yep, anywhere in Texas. We have an office in Dallas, but we can lend anywhere in Texas, and we do. We do a lot of business in San Antonio, Austin. You know, we stick to the major metropolitans when it comes to hard money. While on the conventional side, we can lend anywhere.
Okay. So give us the origin story. How did you get started in this business, and kind of what is it that you guys do? What makes a good client for you guys?
Yeah, so, I got lucky to get into this business, to be honest with you. I graduated from college and thought I wanted to be a stockbroker. I double majored in finance and marketing, and I did that for about 6-8 months, and just, I was just cold calling every day, all day. And I'm like, this doesn't sound very sexy.
Yeah,
now.
People don't understand what that actually means. You're just a sales guy for some broker, right? Yeah.
So didn't make a nickel. Literally did not make one penny. I was trying to sell mortgage-backed securities at a time right after that market had completely crashed.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, why didn't anybody give me a heads up here? You know, not the time to get into it.
Yeah, here's the new guy. We're going to pay him 100% commission. Good luck with this.
Yeah, it was awful. So anyway, a friend of mine was working for another hard money company, got me a job as a loan officer, and man, I just took to it. I tell everybody. I felt like Mozart when they put him in front of a piano. He just knew how to play. I just knew how to do loans, and so I did that for I worked for another company for about 6 years, and then I started Noble Mortgage in 2003.
Okay.
With focus on hard money, but then unlike a lot of hard money lenders, we also do regular conventional financing. FHA, first time buyers, but our focus is hard money and working with the investor side, and we do commercial lending. So just about any and everything when it comes to real estate lending.
Yeah, it's. You guys are one of those one-stop shops. It's like,
yeah,
hey, we can find a place for this deal.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if they have a piece of real estate they're trying to buy and they need money on it, we can either close a loan or I can at least point them in the right direction if it's something too big for me because I've just been doing this so long.
Yeah. What's the best way for folks to get in contact with you?
Sure, you can go to our website at noblemortgage.com. That's NOBLE mortgage.com, or give us a call at 713-680-8100.
So I don't think I've ever heard you answer this. I've never asked it. How'd you come up with the name Noble Mortgage?
Yeah, a lot of people say they thought that was my name. Are you Mr. Noble?
Yes,
I'm like, yeah,
I
sure.
am.
What
Yeah,
the hell?
whatever. Yeah,
you can call me that. Yeah. I just wanted a name that was positive and strong, and so I was trying to think of something. And we came up with the name Noble, which represents the noble fir. I don't know if you're familiar with the noble fir. Noble fir is a type of tree, and I like the name Noble because it's positive. It has a couple different meanings, but I was using it in reference to the tree also. But the noble fir, they grow in very, very high altitudes. Like they only grow at the tops of the mountains.
Interesting.
And so they're above the other trees, number one, and also they're very, very hardy. To grow at the top of a mountain, you got to be a hardy tree to withstand all the storms. And so I like that whole example of what it is and what the word means as far as it being a strong name and positive name.
Well, and you guys have survived some storms, right?
Yes, we have. 08 and 09.
Yeah.
Thank God we were a noble fir. That was no fun.
Yeah, no fun for anybody, right?
No, that was an interesting time. But, in hindsight now, like I wouldn't want to go through that again.
Oh, of course not.
But I learned more in that 3-year span than I did in my 25-year career in the business.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I am convinced. I'm going through a lot of stuff right now, reading a lot of stuff, working with a couple of different guys. And the fascinating thing is you'll hear Navy SEALs say this, right? Embrace the suck. And it's like, all right, that's cute, right? But one of the things that you'll hear somebody like Jim Rohn say, Jim Rohn will say, you can't grow without a challenge. And the challenge is usually not fun. Like that is not.
Oh, no, yeah.
0809 is not fun.
No.
But you learn more in 3 years than you did in 25.
Absolutely. You learned a lot and took that knowledge and put it into place, for the company, how to keep us out of trouble in the future, because, you start taking back foreclosures left and right like we had to in 08 and 09, you learn to think really quick and think creatively, because I don't get a lot of foreclosures. A lot of people think hard money companies, you get all these foreclosures and you can't wait to take this property back. I hate foreclosures. You know, I want to lend money and get paid back. But, you know, so we normally get 0 to 3, you know.
In like a year, right?
Yeah. Like I didn't get any last year.
Yeah.
You know, haven't had any this year. And, but then you go to 08 and 09 when, you know, you're taking back 10, 15 at a time. It was, you have to think on your feet, think creatively, and figure out how to get out of those deals. And we did, but I learned a lot of gray hair during that time.
Yeah. Well, you know what I find fascinating is when I talk to real estate investors that say, well, what we're going through now is just like 08 and 09. I'm like, it is not. You have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no clue.
Like
no
this
clue.
Is 08 and 09, the lead up from 05 to 07 is completely different than what we're experiencing right now.
Yes. And during 08 and 09, you had, you know, I think probably, if I had to guess, probably 80% of the hard money companies in Houston closed during that time. Mm-hmm. They were closing, and they had this thing online. It was called the mortgage implodometer. and every day they would add different mortgage, and it was nationwide, different mortgage companies that had closed every day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was just a ticker that was going and going and going. But even in the Houston market, a lot of the hard money guys didn't make it out. A lot of the guys that were my competitors back then are not in the business anymore.
Yep. Well, and you see a lot of hard money folks popping up now, and I'm like, let's see where you're at in the next little transition here.
Yeah, get a few wrinkles on you and take a few blows and see how you feel afterwards.
That's right. But to go back to that, weathering that storm, when I look at what's going on now and I compare it back to 07, 08, 09, I'm like, this is a completely different deal.
Yeah, it's a different market. You know, we don't have any inventory, number one. So kind of like you were saying at the event we did the other day, even if there are a lot of foreclosures, which I don't think there will be, they will be absorbed very quickly.
Yes.
Because of lack of inventory. But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, there's not a huge default right now. I mean, there's some foreclosures that will happen, but it's going to take a while, and I don't think it's going to affect the market that much. If anything, we need the inventory.
Oh yeah, that's what I think. I'm like, we need the foreclosures.
Yeah.
I had to send you the guys over at Realty Track and Adam Data did a great co-branded webinar, if you will, and the guy at Realty Track is an economist, right? I think PhD in economics. And he dug into the forbearances. And I've never seen this where they actually broke down the forbearance data. 8% of forbearances, you know how they got out of forbearance? They paid the loan off.
Really?
Yeah, not refied, just paid it off. So
By selling it?
no, by just paying the loan off. They just wrote a check and paid it off. So they were in forbearance. It made no sense, right? They're in forbearance, can't pay their mortgage. And they were like, let's just pay the mortgage off.
That's
so I don't know,
strange.
maybe it was a family or friend, or maybe it was a 401k they liquidated. Who knows?
Yeah.
But his guess, and he's got a little pie chart shows all this, that only about 15% of those in forbearances are really in trouble. Everybody else, they're already doing, like 80-something% have already done workouts. So he's like, it's not, and you know how the government reacted to 08 and 09. I don't think they're going to allow families getting kicked out of their houses and all that. Like,
I don't think so either.
I don't think we're going to see that again.
Yeah, and I think the lenders will bend over backwards to try to work something out with these people, even if it comes down to that. But, you know, they keep pushing back the foreclosure moratorium. I think it's in end of June right now.
Yeah.
But I think even when that comes to a head, I think the lenders will work really hard. I think the government will pressure them to work really hard to try to work things out with these people.
Yeah. I heard a rumor out there when I was chatting with somebody about automatic underwriting. And the rumor I heard was we had some marginal borrowers that were pre-qualified 3 months ago. And we went back and ran them through automatic underwriting this month because they got a contract accepted, and all of a sudden they're getting denied. There's a rumor out there that they've changed. They haven't told any of the lenders, but they said some of the automatic underwriting stuff has changed to make it a little bit harder to borrow money for a house. And I don't know if you've seen that, but I've heard that from some of the retail folks.
I have not seen it yet. I have heard rumors of them wanting to curb some of the investment property loans.
Oh, yeah, that's
a real thing, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, they want that to be a certain percentage of their portfolio. And when it starts getting too high, they're like, let's tighten up those rules.
A little bit.
Yeah. But I haven't heard anything on the other front. You know, the federal government is really big on making sure it's easy to buy houses for first-time home buyers and things like that. So I think they're even talking about doing a $15,000 first-time buyer credit. They're trying to get passed.
So that I read the legislation about 2 weeks ago. That's not I thought it was going to be like a tax credit. They're going to pay it at closing. It's like cash.
There you go.
It's going to be
Printing
crazy.
money.
Yeah, printing money. But it's only for right now. The proposed legislation was it's only for first-time home buyers whose parents don't own a home either. So it's like they're trying to change the generational wealth dynamic to say, you need a head start because your parent. We all know that if you own a single family house, if you live in a single family house, that is a stepping stone to building wealth.
Sure.
In fact, it's almost statistically impossible to build wealth for retirement if you don't own your own home. So the federal government has come back and said, okay, well, if your family has not owned one, and of course you haven't owned one, then you'll be able to get that loan, which is a pretty small population if you think about it. So,
Yeah.
but it's there's some value there. But yeah,
I
they're
haven't
just
heard that.
printing that money. I'll see if I can find it. It was on housing. It was either on MBS News or Housing Wire. It popped up and I started reading. I'm like, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But well, why don't you give them the contact information again?
Sure. You can go to our website. Look, we have lots of great information there and videos and so forth. And we're big on education. So our website is noblemortgage.com, and it's NOBLE mortgage.com, or call us at 713-680-8100.
Thanks for being on the show, and welcome to the building, man.
Thank you, my friend. Looking forward to having a lot of good times here.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see y'all next time.